She was sent to lure him to his death, but fell first instead. The simulator bay smelled like recycled air and ambition. Kerra stood at the observation glass, falsified credentials heavy in her pocket, watching the human in the cockpit below pull off a flight pattern that should have torn his test craft apart. The neural suppressor behind her ear burned hot against her skin, a warning that her body wanted to react, wanted to feel something her people had engineered out of their species 3,000 years ago. Damon Hartley, 32, test pilot. The file called him reckless. The file was wrong. She watched his hands move across the controls, each input precise as surgery. The simulator threw asteroid fields at him, gravity wells, engine failures. He wove through them like he was dancing, like he heard music in the math that no one else could perceive. Her fingers twitched against the glass. The suppressor pulsed again, stronger. Impressive, isn't he? Kerra turned. Colonel Patricia Madigan stood beside her, arms crossed, eyes on the simulator below. The file said he was unconventional, Kerra said. The file's being polite. Madigan's mouth quirked. He's brilliant, and he knows it. But he's the best we have, and this project needs the best. Below, Damon brought the simulator through a final spiral and landed without a scratch. The cockpit canopy hissed open. He pulled off his helmet, dark hair damp with sweat, and looked up directly at the observation window, directly at her. He grinned. Kerra's suppressor burned white-hot. "Come on," Madigan said. "Time for introductions." Damon was still in the pilot's seat, reviewing telemetry on a handheld display. He didn't look up as they approached. "Hartley, this is Dr. Elise Navarro, your new aerospace engineer," Madigan said. Kerra extended her hand. The false name felt slippery in her mouth. Damon finally looked up. His eyes were hazel, flecked with gold, and they studied her face with the same precision he'd used on the flight controls. He took her hand. His palm was warm, calloused. "Doctor," he said, "impressive credentials. Stanford, MIT, 3 years at Lockheed. You're either brilliant or a very elaborate spy." The suppressor screamed. Kerra forced herself to smile. "Can I be both?" His grin widened. He held her hand a moment longer than necessary. "I like her already," he told Madigan. The colonel rolled her eyes. "Behave yourself. Dr. Navarro is here to help finalize the quantum drive integration. You'll be working closely together for the next 72 hours. 3 days until we make history," Damon said. He stood, moved past them toward the exit. "Welcome to the program, Doctor. Try to keep up." Kerra watched him go. The suppressor's burn faded to a dull ache. She pressed her fingers against it through her hair. 72 hours. Just enough time to complete her mission. Get close to Damon Hartley. Learn the quantum drive specifications. Ensure he died before the test flight revealed that humanity had created something her people couldn't steal. Simple, clean, necessary. The suppressor pulsed again, softer now. She ignored it. The prototype hangar was cathedral vast, shadows pooling in corners that emergency lighting couldn't reach. Kerra stood on the observation platform, looking down at the ship that would change everything. The Aurora. Humanity's first faster-than-light vessel, sleek and predatory, its hull still bearing scorch marks from atmospheric tests. She recognized the quantum drive housing immediately. The configuration was almost identical to her Empire's Void Runner-class ships. But there were differences, modifications, improvements. Her stomach tightened. "Beautiful, isn't she?" Damon's voice came from behind her. She hadn't heard him approach. She turned. He stood at the platform railing, hands in his flight suit pockets. In the hangar's dim light, he looked younger than his file suggested. "She's remarkable," Kerra said. "She's going to carry us to the stars." He moved beside her, close enough that she could smell jet fuel and soap. "Alpha Centauri first, then who knows, everything changes in 3 days." "You sound certain the test will succeed." "I am certain," he glanced at her. "The math works. The engineering is solid, and I'm very good at what I do." "Confident. Realistic." He turned to face her fully. "You know what I think, Dr. Navarro? You're not really interested in my personality. You've been staring at the drive housing since you got here. Something specific you're looking for?" Kerra's pulse jumped. Her suppressor flared. She kept her expression curious. Just admiring the work, she said. The integration is seamless. Whoever designed this understood quantum mechanics at a level I've rarely seen. That would be me. No arrogance in his voice, just fact. Took me 4 years to solve the stability problem. Everyone said it couldn't be done. But you didn't believe them. I believe the universe likes patterns. You just have to listen for the rhythm. He leaned against the railing. Want to know what I find interesting, Doctor? What? Your credentials are perfect, too perfect. And the way you looked at the quantum drive just now, that wasn't admiration. That was recognition. Kerra's hand moved instinctively toward the weapon concealed against her spine. Damon's eyes tracked the movement. So here's my question, he continued. Are you industrial espionage, foreign intelligence, or something more interesting? Before she could answer, the hangar lights died. Emergency systems kicked in after 3 seconds of darkness, bathing everything in red. Alarms wailed, Kerra's combat instincts surged. Beside her, Damon had gone perfectly still. That's not a drill, he said. The observation platform shuddered. Metal screamed. Kerra grabbed the railing as the floor tilted. Below them, the Aurora shifted in her moorings. Something had breached the hangar's pressure seal. The maintenance tunnel, Damon said. He was already moving, pulling her toward a hatch in the platform floor. Emergency shelter. We have maybe 2 minutes before this whole section decompressurizes. Kerra followed him down the access ladder. This wasn't random. This was too precise. Her people shouldn't be making moves yet. She hadn't given the signal. Unless they didn't trust her to complete the mission. The maintenance tunnel was narrow, barely wide enough for single file. Damon led the way, moving fast. Behind them, the sound of tearing metal grew louder. Wind began to howl, atmosphere venting. There! Damon pointed to a pressure door ahead. They reached it together. Damon grabbed the manual release wheel. It didn't turn. Locked from the inside, he said. That's not possible. It was possible if someone wanted them trapped. Kerra looked back. The wind was stronger now, pulling at her clothes. 30 seconds, maybe less. Damon slammed his palm against the door. The emergency override needs hot wiring, but the control systems are on the other side. How much pressure can this tunnel take? Not enough. He met her eyes. We're going to die in here, Doctor. The suppressor was screaming now. Kerra made a choice. She grabbed Damon's shoulder, pushed him against the wall. Stay here. She moved back down the tunnel, fighting the wind. She found an emergency equipment locker. Inside, a welding torch, cable, tools. She worked fast, splicing the torch's fuel line into the tunnel's remaining oxygen feed. The mathematics were simple if you'd been trained in zero-atmosphere combat. Create a controlled burn, superheat the air, force pressure back for exactly 8 seconds. It would either give them time or kill them both. Damon watched her work. That's not standard engineering, he said. I'm not a standard engineer. She triggered the torch. Fire bloomed in the tunnel, a rolling wave that slammed back toward the breach. The wind reversed. Damon moved instantly, attacking the pressure door with a pry bar from the locker. The metal shrieked. The wheel turned. They fell through together as the door sealed. The emergency shelter was quiet, alarms muffled. Kerra lay on the floor, breathing hard. Damon sat against the wall, looking at her. Who are you? He asked. Her wrist communicator vibrated. A message from Velric, her handler. 3 words in her language, displayed for only a second. Mission parameters revised. Kerra moved to the shelter's terminal. She accessed the secure channel using codes Damon couldn't see. The full message downloaded. She read it twice. Her hands didn't shake. But the suppressor behind her ear had gone completely quiet for the first time since she'd arrived on Earth. The mission briefing had been falsified. Damon Hartley wasn't just an obstacle to her empire's plans. His quantum drive didn't just match their technology. It surpassed it. And everything they'd told her about why he had to die was a lie. Kerra deleted the message and turned from the terminal. Damon still sat against the wall, studying her with those calculating eyes. The emergency shelter's red lighting cast sharp shadows across his face. You going to tell me what that was about? He asked. Checking in with my supervisor, she said. Standard protocol during facility emergencies. Right, standard protocol. He stood, brushed dust from his flight suit. Just like that trick with the welding torch was standard engineering. You know what I think happened out there? What? Someone tried to kill us, very specifically. That pressure door doesn't lock from the inside by accident. He moved closer. Question is whether they were trying to kill both of us, or just me, and you got unlucky. The suppressor pulsed warning. He was too observant, connecting patterns she needed scattered. You think someone sabotaged the facility to murder a test pilot? She asked. I think this project has enemies, corporate competitors who'd love to see us fail, foreign governments threatened by American superiority in space, maybe even people inside our own military who think we're moving too fast. He stopped an arm's length away. Or maybe someone who doesn't want humanity reaching the stars at all. Her pulse jumped. That's paranoid. That's survival. His expression softened slightly. Look, I don't know who you really are, Dr. Navarro, but you saved both our lives back there. That counts for something. So I'm going to trust you, at least until you give me a reason not to. The suppressor burned. Trust. Such a human concept, so foreign to her training. Her empire had engineered trust out of their species along with empathy, love, mercy, all the weaknesses that made conquest difficult. We should report what happened, she said. Already did, while you were checking your messages. He gestured to the shelter's communication panel. Security teams are sweeping the hangar. Colonel Madigan wants us in medical for evaluation, then debriefing in 2 hours. 2 hours isn't much time. It's enough. Damon moved to the shelter's exit hatch, entered the unlock code. Come on, I want to show you something. He led her through maintenance corridors she hadn't mapped yet, away from the main facility. The emergency had sent most personnel to evacuation stations, leaving the passages empty. Their footsteps echoed on metal grating. Where are we going? She asked. Somewhere they don't have cameras. That should have alarmed her. Instead, the suppressor stayed quiet. Kerra followed him down 3 levels, through a section marked Authorized Personnel Only, into what looked like an old observation room. Equipment consoles lined one wall, their screens dark. A window overlooked a smaller hangar bay. Damon activated one of the consoles. Schematics filled the screen, technical diagrams she recognized immediately. The Aurora's quantum drive displayed in detail that should be classified far above her clearance level. This is what you wanted to see, isn't it? He said. The real specifications, not the sanitized versions they show contractors. Kerra's mouth went dry. Don't bother. He pulled up another file. I've been watching you since you arrived, Doctor. The way you look at the drive housing, the questions you ask. You're not here to help integrate systems. You're here to understand them. Her hand moved toward her weapon. Damon saw it, didn't react. I'm not going to stop you, he said. In fact, I'm going to help you, because I want you to understand what we've built, what it means. Why? Because whoever tried to kill us today is going to try again, and I think it has everything to do with this. He tapped the screen. The quantum drive works on principles that shouldn't exist, mathematics that break every rule we thought we knew. It took me 3 years to accept what the numbers were telling me. Kerra stepped closer to the console, drawn despite her training. The equations scrolled past, familiar enough to recognize, different enough to frighten her. Damon was right. This wasn't just advanced human engineering. This was something new. I started with the Alcubierre drive concept, he continued. Warping space-time, creating a bubble of normal space that could move faster than light. Standard theoretical physics. Except every calculation said it would take more energy than exists in the universe to make it work. So how did you solve it? I didn't. I listened. He pulled up a different file, waveform patterns that looked like music. Space isn't empty. It resonates. Quantum fluctuations create interference patterns like sound waves. I stopped trying to brute force the math and started treating it like a symphony, finding the harmony. His fingers moved across the screen, highlighting sections. Kerra watched, her analytical mind racing. This was beyond what her empire had stolen, beyond what they'd built from a dozen conquered species technology. Damon Hartley had approached the problem from an angle no one had considered. He'd made it elegant. You're looking at me differently, he said. She was. The suppressor burned steady now, her body flooded with something her training had no name for. Admiration, maybe, or recognition of a mind that matched her own. "This will change everything," she said quietly. "That's the idea. Humanity gets to join the galactic community, if there is one." He turned from the console. "You believe in aliens, Dr. Navarro?" The question hung between them. Kerra's pulse hammered. This was the moment where she should deflect, redirect, maintain cover. Instead, she found herself wanting to tell him the truth. "Yes," she said. "Me too. Statistically, we can't be alone. And if we're not alone, then we're either very late to the party, or we're about to surprise a lot of people who thought they had a monopoly on faster-than-light travel." He was closer now, near enough that she could see gold flecks in his eyes. The observation room felt smaller, warmer. Her suppressor pulsed warning, but quieter than before. "Is that what you want?" she asked. "To surprise people?" "I want humanity to have a chance. To prove we're worth something." His voice dropped. "I want to fly faster than light and see what's out there. And I think you do too, whoever you really are." Kerra's breath caught. She should move away, re-establish distance, regain control of the situation. Instead, she stayed still as Damon reached up, tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. His fingers brushed the spot where her suppressor was implanted. She flinched. "You have a scar here," he said. "Recent medical procedure?" "Childhood injury," she lied. "You're a terrible liar, doctor. Your eyes are honest even when your mouth isn't." He didn't pull his hand away. "Here's what I think. I think you're here for the drive specifications. I think someone sent you. And I think whoever sent you is the same person who tried to kill us today." "That's quite a theory. Am I wrong?" The suppressor screamed. Kerra grabbed his wrist, pulled his hand away from her face. She held it there between them, his pulse steady under her fingers. "What if you're right?" she asked. "Then I'd want to know why. What makes this drive so dangerous that someone would commit murder to stop it?" "Maybe they're afraid of what humanity will do with that much power. Or maybe they're afraid of what we'll discover when we start looking around, what we'll find, who we'll meet." Damon's fingers curled around hers. "Help me understand, Elise. Help me know what we're really dealing with." The name felt wrong in his mouth. She wasn't Elise. She was Kerra, operative of the Severith Empire, trained assassin, perfect infiltrator. She was here to steal his work and ensure he never flew the Aurora. She was here to kill him. But standing in this forgotten observation room, his hand warm in hers, the equations of his genius displayed on the screens around them, she felt the suppressor's burn fade to nothing. Something else rose in its place. Something her people had stripped from their genetics because it made conquest difficult. "Choice. I'll help you," she said. The words felt like treason. They felt like truth. Damon smiled. "Good, because we have 48 hours until the next test flight, and I suspect whoever tried to kill us today isn't finished." He was right about that. Kerra's wrist communicator vibrated again, a different pattern. Priority message. She didn't need to check it to know what it said. Velric would be demanding progress, demanding answers about the failed attempt. Demanding she complete her mission. The zero-gravity training facility occupied the base's oldest section, a converted water tank 30 meters deep. Kerra floated in the center, tethered to the entry platform by a safety line that felt more symbolic than secure. Damon drifted nearby, demonstrating emergency egress procedures with the casual grace of someone who'd spent half his life learning to ignore gravity. "The key is not fighting it," he said, executing a slow rotation. "In zero-G, panic kills. You have to trust your training, trust your equipment." Kerra adjusted her position, mimicking his movements. 40 hours had passed since he'd shown her the quantum drive specifications. 40 hours of staying close to him, learning his routines. 40 hours of ignoring increasingly urgent messages from Velric. 40 hours of feeling her carefully constructed purpose crumble. "You're a natural at this," Damon observed. He pushed off a handhold, gliding toward her. "Most people take weeks to get comfortable in zero-G. You moved like you've done this before. I'm a quick study." "That's one explanation." He caught her tether, used it to arrest his momentum. They hung suspended, face to face in the blue-lit water. "Here's another," You've had training that isn't in any curriculum I know. The suppressor stayed quiet. That was becoming more frequent, its warnings fading as her body adapted to sustained emotional input. Or maybe it was malfunctioning. You're very suspicious for a pilot, she said. I'm very interested in a beautiful woman who keeps saving my life while lying about who she is. His eyes held hers. Fair trade. I'll tell you a truth if you tell me one. That's not how classified information works. Then let's not talk about classified information. Tell me something real. Kerra's pulse quickened. Around them, the training tank's recycling systems hummed. The platform crew was on break, leaving them alone. She should deflect, change subject, maintain operational security. Instead, she said, I've never made a choice that was mine. Every decision, every action has been directed by someone else since I was born, until you showed me those specifications. What changed? I met someone who treats the universe like a symphony. She reached out, her gloved fingers touching his faceplate. Someone who made me want something I shouldn't be able to want. Damon's breathing changed audible over the communication link. And what's that? Before she could answer, her safety tether snapped. The break was clean, too clean. Kerra tumbled backward, instinct taking over. She twisted, reaching for handholds that were suddenly too far away. Damon lunged for her, his own tether pulling taut. It snapped too. They spun together through the water, both lines severed, both drifting toward the tank's bottom. Emergency protocols demanded they activate backup thrusters, signal for extraction. Kerra's hand moved to the control panel on her suit. Damon grabbed her wrist. Wait, look. Through the blue water, Kerra saw movement at the entry platform. A figure in maintenance gear, working at the tether controls, not securing new lines, cutting the backups. They're isolating us, Damon said quietly. We signal for help. That platform is the only extraction point. We'd be sitting targets. Then what do? We trust each other. He pulled her closer, their suits pressing together. There's a maintenance access at the bottom, emergency exit, but the door requires 2 people to open simultaneously. How far? 28 meters. We've got maybe 3 minutes of air if we don't panic. Kerra looked into his eyes through their faceplates. 3 minutes, no backup, only each other. I'm good at not panicking, she said. They descended together, moving in synchronized silence. Damon's hand stayed locked with hers, guiding them toward the tank's floor. The blue light faded to shadow. The maintenance hatch appeared below them, marked with faded safety warnings. Damon positioned them on opposite sides, showed her the release mechanism. They'd have 5 seconds once the first lock disengaged. On 3, he said. 1. Her suppressor exploded with pain. Kerra gasped, her vision whiting out. The implant behind her ear burned like acid, emergency shutdown protocols activating. Her body convulsed. Damon's voice came through the communication link, distorted. She'd exceeded emotional capacity. The suppressor was forcing her system back to baseline, forcing her to feel nothing. Forcing her back into compliance. No. Kerra grabbed the release mechanism, fighting through the pain. Through blurred vision, she saw Damon watching her, saw him understanding that something was wrong. 2, she managed. He positioned his own hand. 3. They triggered the releases simultaneously. The hatch hissed open. They pulled themselves through into the maintenance tunnel beyond. Kerra collapsed against the wall, tearing at her helmet. The suppressor's burn was spreading, neural fire racing down her spine. Damon got his own helmet off, moved to help her. Elise, what's happening? Not Elise. The words came out strangled. Never Elise. She found the edge of the suppressor through her hair, felt the ridge of implanted technology. Her people designed them to be permanent. But her people had never considered someone might choose pain over obedience. Kerra dug her fingers under the suppressor's edge and pulled. The agony was absolute. The device had rooted into her nervous system. Removing it was removing part of herself. She screamed and kept pulling. Blood ran down her neck. Damon grabbed her hands, trying to stop her. You're going to kill yourself. Already dead, she gasped. Just don't know it yet. The suppressor came free with a wet tearing sound. Kerra held it in her palm, the small device slick with blood, its lights fading. She looked at Damon through vision that swam red. "My name is Kerra," she said. "I'm not human. I was sent here to kill you." Then her body's conditioning, freed from the suppressor's control, flooded her system with everything she'd been engineered not to feel. Terror, guilt, desire. She collapsed into his arms. When consciousness returned, she was still in the maintenance tunnel, her head pillowed on Damon's lap. He'd torn fabric from his suit to bandage her neck. "How long?" she asked. 5 minutes. His voice was rough. "You want to explain what just happened?" Kerra sat up slowly. Her body felt different, lighter despite the pain. For the first time in her life, her emotions were her own. "I'm from the Severith Empire," she said. "We've been monitoring Earth for decades. Your quantum drive doesn't just match our technology. It surpasses it. My mission was to get close to you, learn how you solved the equations, and ensure you died before the test flight." Damon's expression didn't change. "And the suppressor?" "My people engineer out emotions. The suppressor maintained that conditioning." She touched the bandage on her neck. "It failed when I started feeling things I wasn't designed to feel." "Things like what?" She met his eyes. "Things like wanting you to live more than I want to complete my mission." Silence filled the tunnel. Above them, alarms began to sound. Someone had discovered the cut tethers. "So," Damon said finally, "alien operative sent to seduce and murder me." "I'm sorry. For lying or for failing to kill me?" "For making you trust me." He laughed, sharp and sudden. "That's the thing, Kerra. I still do, because you just tore something out of your own skull rather than let me die." "It's treason against my empire." "Good thing I'm used to treason." He stood, helped her to her feet. "We need to move before your people figure out you've gone rogue." "Where can we go?" "Somewhere safe. But first, you're going to tell me about any other surprises waiting in my ship." He moved toward the tunnel exit. "Because the test flight is in 36 hours and I'm not dying because of some alien kill switch." 36 hours? That's too soon. It's the only option. Whatever's happening, we're out of time. He paused at the exit. "Your people tried to kill us twice. They'll try again." Kerra followed him, her body adjusting to unmoderated emotions. She was betraying everything she'd been created to serve. "It felt like freedom." "Damon," she said. He turned. "When I said I was sent to kill you, there's more. I was supposed to make you fall for me first, so you'd be vulnerable." She swallowed. "I think I'm the one who fell instead." His hand found hers in the darkness. "Then I guess we're both traitors now." The maintenance tunnels became a maze of corroded metal and failing lights. Damon led them through passages that shouldn't exist on any official facility map, his hand tight around Kerra's as alarms echoed through the complex above. Her neck throbbed where the suppressor had been, each pulse a reminder that she was truly alone now. No mission parameters, no handlers, no empire. Just him. "Here," Damon said, stopping at a hatch marked with faded radiation warnings. "Old Cold War bunker. They built it under the original base, forgot about it when they expanded." He worked the lock with practiced efficiency. The hatch groaned open, revealing a ladder descending into darkness. Kerra followed him down, her alien physiology adjusting to the stale air. The bunker was small, concrete walls lined with outdated equipment and forgotten supplies. A single emergency light cast everything in sickly yellow. Damon sealed the hatch, then turned to face her fully. In the confined space, she could see the tension in his shoulders, the calculation behind his eyes. He was processing, the same way he processed flight data or quantum equations. "Talk," he said. "Everything, starting with how many of your people are on this base." "Just me, until they sent Soren." Kerra leaned against the wall, her legs unsteady. "The backup operative, the one I killed in the lower levels. The body they found yesterday. Security thinks it was a rival nation's spy. Let them think that. It buys us time." She touched her neck, felt the crude bandage. "My empire doesn't send teams, single operators, maximum deniability, but they'll send another now that I've failed to check in." "How long?" "Maybe 12 hours, maybe less if they've been monitoring my neural implant." She met his eyes. "They know I removed the suppressor. That's an automatic death sentence among my people." Damon moved to a storage locker, pulled out a first aid kit that looked decades old. "Let me see your neck." "It's fine. It's bleeding through the bandage. Sit." She sat on an overturned crate. Damon knelt beside her, carefully peeling away the makeshift dressing. His fingers were gentle as he cleaned the wound with antiseptic that burned worse than the suppressor had. "This is going to scar," he said quietly. "Good, I want the reminder." "Of what?" "That I chose this. That I chose you." She caught his wrist as he applied fresh gauze. "Damon, there's something else. The Aurora. They didn't just send me to steal the specifications. They planted a kill switch in the quantum drive core." His hand stilled. "During final assembly, 3 months ago, one of the technicians was ours, a deep cover agent. The device is molecularly bonded to the drive housing. It's designed to detonate once you reach full velocity, destroying the ship and all evidence that humanity surpassed us." "Can you disable it?" "Not without destroying the drive. The bonding process is irreversible." She watched his jaw tighten. "I'm sorry." "Don't apologize, just help me figure out how to beat it." He finished bandaging her neck, then sat back on his heels. "Tell me exactly how it works." Kerra closed her eyes, pulling up technical specifications from memory. "It's a quantum resonance device. Once the drive reaches 80% of full velocity, it triggers a cascade reaction. The detonation would look like a catastrophic drive failure. No one would suspect sabotage." 80%, so we'd have maybe 30 seconds from trigger to explosion. 20 if you're pushing the velocity curve aggressively. Which I always do. He stood, paced the small space. "Could we abort before trigger? Pull back from 80%? "The abort window is too narrow. By the time instruments detect the resonance shift, you'd already be in the cascade." "Then we go through it." He turned to her. "Your people built this device to work with your technology, right? But my drive isn't built the same way. The harmonics are different. What if the kill switch can't lock onto the new resonance pattern?" Kerra's mind raced through the physics. "It's possible, but if you're wrong, we'd have no warning before detonation." "If I'm wrong, we were dead anyway." He moved closer, cupped her face with both hands. "You said you can interface with your people's technology. Could you monitor the kill switch during flight? Give me real-time data on the cascade progression?" "I'd need direct contact with the device. That means going inside the drive core." She saw where he was heading. "You're talking about a live test flight, with me aboard, while your military and my empire are both trying to kill us." "I'm talking about the only way we survive this." His thumbs traced her cheekbones. "We fly the Aurora together. You monitor the kill switch. I push through the velocity threshold before the cascade can complete. We prove the drive works, and we get far enough away that neither of our people can stop us." "That's insane. That's the mission." He kissed her then, hard and desperate and real. Kerra's hands fisted in his flight suit, pulling him closer. Without the suppressor, every sensation was overwhelming. His taste, his warmth, the way his heart hammered against her palm. When they broke apart, she was breathless. "Even if we survive the flight, where do we go? Every system in the Empire's territory will have orders to kill me on sight, and Earth won't exactly welcome you back after you steal their prototype." "Then we find somewhere else, neutral space, independent colonies." He rested his forehead against hers. "We become the first human-alien crew to chart unknown territory. Could be fun. Could be suicide. Better than the alternative." His expression sobered. "Kerra, I need you to understand something. That drive up there, it's not just about beating your empire or proving human ingenuity. It's about showing that we're ready for what's out there, that we can meet other species as equals, not as victims or conquerors. My people won't see it that way. They'll see it as a threat." "Good. Maybe they should be threatened. Maybe the galaxy needs to know that humanity doesn't ask permission." He stepped back, started pulling equipment from storage lockers. "We've got maybe 10 hours before the next shift change. That's our window to reach the Aurora, run pre-flight, and launch before security locks down the facility." "You're forgetting something. Colonel Madigan, she'll never authorize launch." "She won't have to. I've got override codes." He glanced at her. Jesse gave them to me a few days ago. Insurance in case the brass tried to shut us down. Your friend is going to get court-martialed. He knew the risks. He believes in this as much as I do. Damon handed her a flight suit from the locker. It'll be too big, but it's better than what you're wearing. Get changed. We move in 5. Kerra took the suit, then grabbed his arm. Damon, wait. Once we launch, once my people realize I've betrayed them completely, they won't just send another operative. They'll send a warship, maybe more than one. Faster than anything Earth has. They could be here before we reach the velocity threshold. Then we'll have to be faster. He pulled her close again, kissed her forehead. I've spent my entire career preparing for this flight. Every simulation, every test, every impossible maneuver. I was built for this moment, and now I get to share it with someone who actually understands what we're doing. I tried to kill you. You failed spectacularly. His smile was fierce. And now you're going to help me make history instead. Seems like a fair trade. Kerra changed quickly, the flight suit hanging loose on her smaller frame. Damon adjusted the straps, his hands efficient and sure. When he finished, he produced 2 sidearms from the locker. You know how to use human weapons? He asked. She took one, checked the magazine with practiced ease. I know how to use any weapon. Right, alien super soldier. I keep forgetting. He secured his own weapon. One more thing, when we get to the Aurora, there's going to be at least 1 guard rotation, maybe more if they've upgraded security after the incidents. I can handle guards. Without killing them, these are my people, Kerra, humans following orders. She met his eyes. I'll do my best. That's all I ask. He moved to the hatch, listened for movement above. Ready to steal a starship? Despite everything, the pain, the fear, the impossible odds, Kerra smiled. Ready. The hangar was a cathedral of shadows and steel when they reached it, the Aurora gleaming under emergency lighting like a predator waiting to strike. Damon moved along the catwalks with the confidence of someone who'd memorized every access point, every blind spot in the security grid. Kerra followed, her alien senses tracking heat signatures below. 2 guards on patrol, their routes predictable. Southeast access, Damon whispered, pointing to a service elevator. Takes us directly to the boarding platform, 90 seconds between guard rotations. They descended in silence. Without the suppressor, every emotion hit her with physical force. Fear made her hands shake. Anticipation tightened her chest. And beneath it all, something she had no name for, the feeling of standing beside someone worth dying for. The boarding platform was empty. Damon approached the Aurora's access panel, entered override codes. The hatch hissed open, revealing the ship's interior, compact, efficient, beautiful in its deadly simplicity. Ladies first, he said. Kerra climbed aboard, her fingers trailing along bulkheads that hummed with barely contained power. The cockpit was designed for 2, every surface covered in displays and controls. Through the forward viewport, she could see the hangar's massive doors, still sealed. Those open automatically during authorized launch, Damon said, sliding into the pilot's seat. Or I can override them manually, which triggers every alarm on base and gives us about 30 seconds before lockdown. 30 seconds to clear the hangar and reach minimum altitude for the quantum drive. Piece of cake. He activated the pre-flight systems, displays blooming to life. Strap in. Once we start, we don't stop. Kerra took the system's operator seat, her hands finding controls that were almost familiar. The Aurora's systems came online with a purr of quantum processors synchronizing. I need access to the drive core, she said, to monitor the kill switch. Damon pulled up a schematic. Maintenance conduit behind the cockpit. You'll need to interface directly with the core housing. I won't be able to get back to this seat once we're in flight. Then we do this old school, voice communication only. He handed her a headset. You call out the cascade progression. I adjust velocity. We trust each other. Kerra took the headset, their fingers touching. If the cascade reaches critical, I won't have time to warn you. Then I'll just have to be faster than physics, he grinned, fierce and wild. Go, I'll handle launch. She moved to the maintenance conduit, pulling herself through the narrow passage. The quantum drive core pulsed ahead, its harmonics making her bones vibrate. The kill switch device appeared as a dark node against the core's luminous housing, molecularly fused exactly as she'd described. Kerra positioned herself close, then placed both palms against the cool metal. "In position," she said into the headset. "Copy, initiating launch sequence." The Aurora's engines ignited with constrained thunder. Through the core's vibrations, Kerra felt the ship straining against its moorings. Damon's voice came through calm and focused, calling out systems checks. Then alarms erupted throughout the hangar. "There's our welcome party," Damon said. "Hang on." The Aurora lurched forward, magnetic clamps releasing. The ship rotated, aligning with the hangar doors. "Doors are still sealed," she said. "Not for long." Damon fired the main thrusters. The Aurora shot forward, accelerating beyond safety protocols. The hangar doors began their emergency open sequence. Too slow. "Damon, trust me." He rolled the ship 90 degrees, threading through the door gap with meters to spare. Metal screamed. Then they were through, climbing hard into the night sky. Kerra's stomach dropped as G-forces multiplied. The Aurora punched through the atmosphere, shaking violently. Below, Earth's defense systems were activating, trying to lock targeting solutions. "Missile lock," Damon confirmed. "Multiple signatures." "Can you evade?" "I can try." He threw the ship into a spiral that should have been impossible. "How's our drive looking?" Kerra focused on the kill switch, feeling its dormant energy. "Still inactive. We're at 40% velocity." "Roger," increasing to 60. The Aurora's quantum drive began its primary engagement sequence. Space rippled around them, reality bending. Kerra felt the kill switch stir, its systems detecting the resonance patterns. "Damon, the device is powering up." "Expected. We're at 65%. How much time?" "Unknown. The cascade could trigger any second once we hit 80. "Then we'd better be ready." His voice stayed steady. "Kerra, if this doesn't work, meeting you was worth it. Every second." Her throat tightened. Through the core, she felt the ship reaching for something impossible. 70%, Damon called, breaking Atmo in 10 seconds. The kill switch pulsed stronger, its quantum signature building toward critical. Kerra mapped the cascade pattern, looking for weaknesses. "Contact," Damon's voice sharpened. 3 ships just appeared. Your people?" Kerra tasted the familiar signatures. "Yes, Severeth interceptors. They're powering weapons." "How long to firing range?" 2 minutes, maybe less." "Then we're out of time." The Aurora broke atmosphere, stars appearing like scattered diamonds, 75% engaging full quantum drive. The ship screamed. The kill switch began its cascade, quantum resonance building exponentially. "Cascade initiated," Kerra shouted. 15 seconds to detonation. 85% velocity. The drive harmonics are fighting the device. The Severeth interceptors opened fire, plasma bolts streaking past, one connected, shields flaring. 10 seconds. Damon pushed the throttle to maximum. "Come on, beautiful." The quantum drive hit its resonance peak. Space folded around them. The kill switch reached critical cascade and couldn't find purchase. Damon's harmonics were wrong, too different, singing in frequencies the device wasn't designed to counter. But it tried anyway. Energy exploded through the core, seeking destruction. Kerra absorbed it, pulling the cascade into herself. Except this wasn't technology anymore. This was annihilation, and her body wasn't designed to contain it. She screamed as her cells began breaking down. Through the pain, she heard Damon's voice. Desperate. "Talk to me." "Can't." "Yes, you can." The ship lurched. "The quantum field is stabilizing. I can use it to..." He did something impossible then. He reversed the quantum flow, channeling the drive's reality-bending energy back through the core and into her failing body, using the same harmonics that had disrupted the kill switch to rewrite her cellular structure. The pain stopped. Kerra gasped, her vision clearing. Through her connection to the core, she felt herself changing, her physiology adapting. The cascade energy was being woven into her molecular structure, stabilizing her. "Status," Damon demanded. "I'm alive. The cascade is contained," she laughed, the sound breaking. "We did it." "Not yet. Interceptors are still on us." But even as he spoke, the Aurora crossed the final threshold. Faster than light velocity achieved. The stars stretched, reality compressed, and they were elsewhere, coordinates Kerra didn't recognize, space that registered on no Empire charts. Behind them, the Severeth interceptors couldn't follow. Humanity had just surpassed them. Damon brought the Aurora to cruising velocity, the ship settling into steady quantum cruise. Kerra pulled herself from the maintenance conduit, exhausted but functional. When she reached the cockpit, he was already out of his seat, pulling her against him. "Don't ever do that again," he said into her hair. "Do what? Save your life?" "Scare me like that?" He pulled back, studying her face. "You look different." "I feel different. What you did, the quantum energy integration, I think it changed me." "Changed you how?" "I don't know yet, but I'm alive, and we're flying faster than light." She touched his face. "So I'd say it worked out." Damon kissed her, slow and thorough, tasting like victory and new beginnings. When they broke apart, he moved back to the pilot's seat, gestured for her to take systems operator. "Where to?" he asked. "We've got a whole galaxy to explore." Kerra studied the navigation display, countless stars scattered across unknown space. Her empire would hunt her. Earth would call Damon a traitor. They were fugitives from two worlds with nothing but a stolen ship and each other. "There," she said, pointing to a cluster of systems outside all known territories. "Neutral space, independent colonies, somewhere we can figure out what comes next." "Sounds perfect." Damon laid in the course, his hand covering hers on the controls. "For a woman who was supposed to kill me, you're terrible at your job." "Good thing I found a better one." "What's that?" "Being your co-pilot," she laced their fingers together. "Your partner, your choice." The Aurora accelerated deeper into unexplored space, carrying the first human-alien crew ever to fly faster than light. Behind them, two civilizations would rage. Ahead, infinity waited. But in that moment, in the quiet hum of quantum engines and the warmth of hands intertwined, Kerra felt something her people had engineered away millennia ago. She felt home. Damon glanced at her, gold-flecked eyes bright with possibilities. "Ready for whatever comes next?" She smiled, watching the stars stretch past like dreams made solid. "With you, always."